In this video, I'm going to recreate with you, step by step, a complex multi-step AI-based workflow using Bitflows. Bitflows is a WordPress automation plugin that will let you connect any app between each other, even apps and triggers and actions that happens entirely out of WordPress. The premium version is way cheaper than NA10 and Zapier. And right now, there is a huge Black Friday sale on their website. But even if you watch this video after this sale has gone, their pricing is very affordable and they offer a lifetime deal. I will leave you the chapters down below this video and all the relevant links. And now, before getting started, my daughter has a favor to ask you.
Please subscribe to my daddy channel.
If you click on the subscribe button, you will be part of the small community of people that are watching my videos and are also subscribed. Congratulations! So the flow that we're going to recreate is this one. We have a free access. The user will subscribe here and they will create an account. They will be added to WordPress, of course. Then they will be added to MailerPress, which is an email marketing plugin which lives inside WordPress too. The user will be added also to a space inside FluentCommunity, inside my free community space, and the user will receive an automated email crafted by OpenAI, ChatGPT, and in this email I will send dynamically the latest published course on my courses page, with a call to action to go and explore it. So this is the whole step-by-step workflow. Let's go and recreate it together. Now, once we install Bitflows, we will find it here. We open up the dashboard and we can immediately actually go to the flows here. All right. We click on Create Flow and we give it a name. We will leave on blank and we will click on Create. Okay, perfect. So this is our workflow. If you want to change the name of the workflow, you can just do it here on the top left. And the first thing that we can set up is the trigger, you see. So basically the event that is going to make the workflow start. And in our case, the trigger is going to be the form completion. Basically, when a user will submit a form, in my case, I will use Bitform in the free version. There's going to be this trigger. So the workflow is going to start. Let's see here, if I type form, what happens. Look, we have a huge number of form plugins and apps that you can connect. And if you go and check them, you see that you can connect even forms that are outside WordPress. Look, Google Forms or Typeform or MailChimp form, MailerLite forms, and so on. So you can connect basically between each other any kind of form. This is very good. But now we're going to use just a simple plugin, which is going to be Bitform, produced by the same team behind also Bitflows. All right. And I'm going to use as a trigger a submit success. So basically, each time a user submits this form, which I created, and it's called Create Free Account Form. This is the form they have set up. As you can see, I have some fields. I have the first name, the email field, the username, and the password. And I'm using this form into this page. So each time that someone fills the form, the workflow is going to start. Now, as you can see, when I click on this trigger, it says listen response. And this is the operation needed in order for Bitflows to recognize that form and start collecting the data. So we have to go here and fill the form once, and then we create our account. Great, so the form has been filled, and when we go back now to Bitflows, we see that the response has been captured. And here we can see all the data. If we open up here, form data, we see we have 4 items. The first one is the username, test Pascal, then we have the email, then we have the first name, and then we have the password field. All right, we can close it now. And basically, we can go on creating all the actions that we want to happen after the trigger has been triggered. Let's go here and select the first step. The first step is going to be WordPress and is going to be the user creation. So the first one is create new user. Look how many things we can do in WordPress. It is huge. And the first action is create new user, which is exactly what we wanted to do right now. So let's create a new user. And we're going to assign a role. In this case, it's going to be a subscriber. The email notification, we're going to leave it blank for now. We do not need to send a notification. The email field will be mapped now with our email field here. All right. The username field will be mapped also with our username field. And we're going to add also another field, which is going to be the name, the first name. All right, we need to map also the first name with the first name field here. And then we're not going to generate password automatically because we are also collecting a password field. Okay, in my case, I wanted to collect this password field. So this is the password field, and I'm going to connect it here. And I can also go and test this new action. Let's go and do that. If everything is okay, you should see this message here, test run successful. And we can go and see what happens now in the backend, because if you go on users and you reload the page, you will see this new user appearing here in your user. So this means that the user is it has been correctly assigned to our WordPress website. Great. Let's go back here. Let's close now, and we can go on with our steps. So the third step, it will be to add our user to MailerPress. All right, let's do that. They were very fast to add MailerPress as a trigger and as an action. The Bitflows team is very fast at adding integrations. And here we can go and create or update a contact. Pretty easy, right? We just need to synchronize our email field, which is this one. Then the first name field, which is this one here. The last name, we're not collecting it. It should be subscribed in this case. And we have to, if you want, you can just add to a default list. Or if you are using different lists, you can, of course, synchronize them here. Let's go and test this. All right. And now when we reload our MailerPress page, we will see our new user. It has been added correctly into our test. Perfect. So let's go on now and continue our flow. So this one is working fine. We're going to close it. The fourth step is going to be also pretty easy. And it is going to be the step where we're going to add a user to our free community in FluentCommunity. FluentCommunity is a very powerful plugin. It has a free version and it has a premium version, which is really, really powerful. And I'm going to choose add user to space, because in FluentCommunity, you can create multiple spaces, basically. That works pretty much like Facebook groups, where people can go and post and talk and chat and do whatever they want, like in a real community. This is a community. I really love this plugin. And now we're going to check this automation to be able to automatically add members to our group here. Let's go and see if this is going to work. So the space where we're going to add some groups is going to be our free community. And this community has an ID actually. And to know which is the ID of my community, I need to go on settings. I need to go here on space groups, and I need to hover with the mouse here. As you can see here, when I hover on the free community, I see ID number 2. So let's go and fill out all the data that we need. The first one is going to be the user ID. Our user ID has been created in WordPress, so it has to be taken from the WordPress step, and it is this one. All right. Then we have the space ID. In my case, it's the number 2, the one that I saw here when I hovered with the mouse. Great. And then we have the role. In this case, it's going to be just member, simple member. Test run. All right, test run successful. We see user added to space successfully. And if we go and reload now our community, when we go to the spaces, we're going to see 4 members instead of 3. And if we click on members, you're going to see your new account. Look, joined a few seconds ago. And when we go and see it, test Pascal is the username, and the spaces, there is the free community. Great. Let's go back now to our Bitflows. We can close this one too. So basically we have already 4 steps. Look, this is also already a pretty complex automation. You see, we have someone subscribing to our account, creating a free account. Anyway, just subscribing to our website. Then we have a user creation process. Then we have here a link to our email marketing platform. Then we have our free community. And then we can also add a few more steps. In the automation that I showed you at the beginning of the video, I just put inside here a step to collect all the data about my latest online courses, to be able to then use those data inside ChatGPT to craft some personalized emails with dynamic data. Let's go and see how this is going to work. In this case, we're going to search for WordPress again, and we're going to use get posts by post type. All right. And we're going to use, in this case, courses, because I want to give to ChatGPT access to my latest courses data. So let's go and use courses, all right? And I'm going to set a test and see what is going to happen. You see that now we have some data. We have just one item because I have just published one course, but if you have more than one course published or more than one custom post type in general published, you're going to see them all here. And you're going to see all the data available inside those items. In my case, I have the ID of the post author, the post date GMT, and so on, the post content, the title, the excerpt, and all the different data that are linked to this specific course. And I can keep this data and then use them dynamically inside OpenAI. This is going to be the most tricky part and the most interesting part of our workflow, where we're going to insert AI inside. Look how this is going to work. We're going to search for OpenAI. It is not the only AI available. As you can see here, we can use Claude, DeepSeek, Gemini, Perplexity, and so on. In this case, we're going to use OpenAI, and I'm going to create a chat. I need to use a connection here, and we must have a paid OpenAI account to use this feature. And basically, when you go and try to use this feature, you will be linked here. Look, when you click on Add Connection, you click on OpenAI API settings, all right? And basically here, you will be able to create a new secret key. You will need to add your credit card, and it will ask you to add at least $5 of credit, which is pretty affordable. And with that small amount, you can just start creating your workflows. And of course, depending after on the volume of your workflows, you will need to add more credit. But I'm using my $5 credit since a few months now, and I've never run out of tokens. So it is not very expensive anyway. It depends, of course, on the volume of traffic that you have. You can create a new secret key here. I have created mine here. And then once you have your secret key created, you can go and paste it here on the value settings. You can also give it a name to this connection. And then you will find it here. I click on the drop down and I have my connection here that I have called WP Roadies OpenAI. Okay, and I can select my model here. So depending on the kind of tasks that you need to run, you need to go and choose the appropriate model. In my case, I want to use the latest one, all right? And here, there is all the configuration. The first setting here is about max completion token. So basically here you can limit the number of tokens utilized when the ChatGPT is going to provide you a reply. But you have to be careful. It explains that if you limit this number and the number is too low, it's going to basically truncate the reply of ChatGPT. So yeah, you just need to make some tests here and see how this is going to work the best. And you can also save to the database the responses. You can just create a unique memory key. And if you want, you can also apply some context length. And in this case, I'm going to keep it simple. So this is not going to be useful in our case. We're just going to work now with messages, which basically are prompts. So this is the interface that we're going to use to create our prompts and to automate them. So the first one is going to be developer system prompt. So basically this is a prompt that we can use to give some information about the context, the goal, and so on. So we can use this value field to give all the information that we need to give to ChatGPT to provide our output. And as you can see here, if you want, you can also use all the data that you had in the previous steps to feed the value here for ChatGPT. This is very interesting because you can develop many advanced kind of flows if you want, and you can integrate AI also in this way, in a dynamic way. But in our case, we're just going to craft a prompt here that is going to have just a few variables inside. And let me show you how this is going to work. Since my goal here is to obtain a customized email message, a welcome email message, I'm going to paste inside the developer system field here, which is basically the information that you provide to ChatGPT in order to create the output, all the data that it needs to learn, so to use. So the role, you are a WP Roadies AI assistant, you are an expert copywriter, and your role is to welcome new subscribers to the community with an email message. Okay, so this is the role and goal. Then this is all data about the output, how the output must be. So the length, the technical details, and so on. Then I have the signature that it needs to be at the end of the emails, some other details about the emails. And here it is very important to give some customized dynamic data in this case. So instead of using this one, I'm just going to copy inside in here the dynamic value of my username. All right, let's go and do that. So my username, I'm going to use the one that is provided in WordPress, maybe. This is by get my post type. It is not interesting for me. This one neither. This one no. Okay, this one it hasn't got that much data inside, so I'm going to use just Bitform in my case, and I'm going to place this name here. All right, perfect. So this is going to be fed. Is going to be given to ChatGPT in this case, and the tone is this one. Great. I need then to add the proper prompt, which is going to be a user role. So I'm going to add another message, and in the field here, I'm going to use user. All right. And inside here, I'm going to insert the actual prompt. Okay, we're going to copy the prompt inside here. So this is the prompt. Write a message to the user, make him or her feel welcome, and so on, blah, 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 blah. And then we have some dynamic data. We want ChatGPT, in this case, to craft an email where it's going to promote our latest course. So I'm going to use the course URL. In this case, it's going to be here. Okay, this is the course URL. Then we have the course title. It's going to be in my example here, this one, post title. Perfect. Then we're going to use the course description, which is going to be the post excerpt. All right, perfect. Okay, that's great. We can go and make a test now. And in the output, we're going to see in a few seconds if the test is okay, perfect. Test run successful. And we see then that we have all the content here. Hi, Pascal and WP Roadies AI Assistant. This message is welcome, blah, 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 blah. And we see here that is going to link to all the different data that we have provided in the prompt. And is going to use also dynamically the reference to our latest online courses in my case. All right, that's great. Let's close it. And the final last step is going to be send an email. There are many different emails providers that you can use here: Gmail, Mail, Email Octopus, Rapid Mail, Elastic Mail, and so on, that you can use if you want to send emails. In my case, the simplest one for my tutorial purposes is this one, send email, simple. And I'm going to use as a from email just my administration email. All right. The from name is going to be WP Roadies team or AI assistant, whatever. Then here, the to field is going to be the email of the user. So I'm going to use, in this case, the email provided in the form, which is this one. And the hidden copy is going to be sent to me so that I know each time there is a mail sent to my new subscribers, and I can jump in at any moment. All right. Reply to is going to be the same of the sender. The subject is going to be custom subject. Hey, then the first name of the user. I'm going to use this data here. Welcome aboard. The body is going to be the output of OpenAI, of ChatGPT. So in my case, is the content here, you see, right? Okay. And then I'm going to use, is this email in HTML format? Yes, it is. All right. So let's go and test this email. Sent successfully, great. And it says, hi Pascal, I'm WP Roadies AI Assistant. This message is to welcome you to the community and give you some information about our latest courses. So this is great. It has been all generated instantaneously by ChatGPT. And then here we have all the reference to our latest course. Take a look to our newest paid course, Good Morning Gutenberg, View course. This is the link. And it's a 12 hours online course that will help you get started with the site editor and build lightweight, efficient websites of all kinds, from blogs to e-commerce. See you inside the community, WP Roadies AI Assistant. Hit reply to talk with the team. That's huge, you see? Okay, let's make a final test. Now I have published also another course. So I want to check if my prompt is correct and it is going to take automatically the latest published course and promote it into the welcome email. Let's go and see how this is going to work. So I'm going to create now a free account to access the community. I'll type William, a fake email just to check it out. Okay, William, let's create an account. Your account has been created. You can now log in here. Let's do it. Let's log in. And let's go and check into the community now. All right, we have our account correctly. In Spaces, we see that we have our, okay, William joined a few seconds ago. It's working fine. And okay, so here is working. Let's go and see now the emails. There is this email. Hi, William, I'm WP Roadies AI Assistant. This message is to welcome you to the community and give you some information about our latest courses. So here you see that the presentation is slightly different from the other one. And it is cool the fact that each message it's a little bit different, but keeping the same tone, because I'm just using the prompt where I have specified, of course, my tone. Here there is the link to my latest tutorials, and here there is the promotion of my latest courses. And this is taken dynamically, you see. This is my latest course about Elementor Pro Masterclass, and I can click here to access the course. And so this is a great, great welcome email. Let's go and check also all the other automation steps. The MailerPress, we have William here, great. And when we click on our website users, we have William here too, great. Let's click here and center the workflow. We have in total 7 steps, and we have created a beautiful automation using Bitflows. Of course, you can go and test the flow if you want. And here there are the logs. This is very important to keep an eye on everything that's going on into our workflow. And when there are some errors, you can jump inside here, open up the details, and see which is exactly the step which is causing some errors. You can re-execute. And if you need to do so, you can click here on the 3 dots. You can go on the flow settings, and you can decide what should happen if any of the nodes of your steps here of your automation will fail. And if it is possible, the basic setting is on continue execution. Otherwise, you can also go and block the execution. In my case, I will leave on continue execution. I am super curious to know what you think about Bitflows. Are you already using it in your workflows? Are you building complex automations similar to the one that we saw in this video? So just let me know in the comment section below. If you have any interesting idea also to share with me about new kind of workflows, I will be very happy to read it. I will leave you here now one of my other videos about Bitflows, where I explain to you how to collect user reviews, display them on your website automatically, and then reply with a follow-up email to the users that have left low stars ratings. All this using Bitflows and the integration with OpenAI. I wish you all the best with all your WordPress projects and hope to see you in my next videos.